I have so many emotions about this.
I can't wait to just like tell the story. Hello and welcome to REKT Podcast. I am Bunchu alongside my esteemed colleague and co-host, Chamber. Chamber, how you doing, buddy?
Doing pretty good, man. How are you doing this fine December December afternoon?
Yeah, it's fine.
Do you play like pinch punch first of the month with your friends?
I don't know what that is.
It's basically just you text them at midnight or something, say pinch punch first of the month, and then you have bragging rights for the month.
Oh,
my wife plays this with her. I don't have friends, so I can't actually play this. But my wife plays this with her friends.
I'm gonna start doing this to you on the first of every month.
Yeah, it's very upsetting when you don't get it.
Right, yeah, it's like calling shotgun or...
Yeah, exactly. It's basically a monthly shotgun. It's exactly what it is.
So we are officially in the month of December 2020, and it's nearing an end. And I got to tell you, a lot of people have had a bad year with COVID and unemployment and all of that. And I've gone through most of this year thinking that, I've had one of the best years ever. But I think we can officially say that crypto Twitter is now on the up. They are going to count 2020 as one of the best years ever. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely 2020 for crypto has been good.
Yeah. I would say great.
Definitely. I mean, we're at all-time highs again. It's crazy stuff. I mean, we did have was it Black Thursday, the March big dip, but I think that was more of it wasn't a crypto thing. It was a global issue, I think, overall.
Yes, I agree. But so we are officially. What are we talking about here? Are we officially all-time high? We have touched it. We have breached it. We have titillated it. What are we doing here?
Yes, I feel titillated is exactly the way I would put it. Because yes, we have hit all-time high. I think there's 3.
We've come down a little. Is it time of recording 18.9?
18.9.
Yes.
So I think we got as high as 19.7, 19.8 in some. But I want to say that at least 3 exchanges have reported all-time highs on Bitcoin. So yes, but I don't feel excited in the way that I would have felt had I been 3 years in crypto back in 2017. You know what I mean?
So I was going to ask that. I don't feel like you are as euphoric as I thought you might be.
No, I think I think I'll start to get excited once we breach that $20,000 barrier, and wherever that goes, whether it's 22,000, 23,000, 25,000, I think we're gonna breach it, and I think we're gonna come back down hard. Now, if 20,000 becomes support again, and we kind of just chill out on top of that, $20,000 range, or even if we chill out where we are right now, kind of like that $18,000, $19,000, $20,000 range, I'll be a little bit more excited. But until we kind of breach, with purpose and then retest, I think I'll be more excited then.
I feel you. I am. I'm still in my deep state of depression. And that's not going to change. This is me from now on. I'm unfortunately sorry for you to all have to deal with this. The train has left the station without Uncle Bunchu, and it's just something that I'll have to live with for the rest of my life. But we are crushing right now. So Bitcoin at 18.9. Ethereum, number 2 at 589.27. XRP all the way up at 62 cents. That's fantastic. Litecoin, $87. Bitcoin Cash, $293. Chainlink, $13.67. Cardano, 15 cents. Polkadot at $5.14. And Binance rounding out the top 10 at $30.12. Every chart looks exactly the same.
Yeah. It's good. It's definitely good. We're definitely only dealing with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and some large caps for the time being, as far as what's moving. Obviously, because I trade alts, I'm always looking at BTC pairings and Ethereum pairings. So that really hasn't done much as of late. Obviously, some alts have gone up in USD value. But what I'm looking for is to get more Ethereum and to get more Bitcoin. So that's what I'm waiting on. I think that will happen, but I might.
So this is part of why you're not euphoric?
I'm definitely, yeah. I mean, I'm up in USD for sure. I'm above flat. Like, I haven't gained any more.
But see, like, BTC. I feel like even for you as a Canadian, even being up in USD should be euphoric, right? I mean, USD is your real altcoin, like your first altcoin.
You're 100% correct.
Or, in fact, Canadian dollar is your first altcoin.
Right.
Yes, and you're just trying to get more USD.
I'm trying to get more USD, that's right.
Right. So, I mean, that's the way I've always looked at it for you.
When I explain Bitcoin to other Canadians, like I was telling you before the show, I was talking to my dad about Bitcoin. We've been talking a little bit more lately since, since he's not in the hole anymore. And, when I talk, I was telling him about market cap, and I was kind of telling him, like, what I thought the price would be, because he's like, well, I'm obviously not going to cash in my chips now. And we were kind of throwing around some ideas of when, he could possibly in the future cash out or take a good chunk out. And we were throwing around the idea of, the gold market cap. Like, what's the gold market cap worldwide? And we found out that it was about $9 trillion. That's the market cap for gold worldwide. And I said,
so you're talking 9x at least from here.
Right, exactly. And I said, a lot of people are talking about, because he even said, he's like, I'm hearing people saying, Bitcoin is the new gold, is the new digital gold, blah, blah. Like, he's saying these things, and he's a normie. He's a 60-year-old.
Hello, Dad. I've been fucking telling you this for 3 years. It's insane how the cycle goes. Like, it is so ridiculous. Literally nothing has changed since the last time this has happened.
Right.
Nothing.
So, nothing at all. Nothing at all has changed. Nothing has changed to the we haven't forked Bitcoin. It's still Bitcoin. There was back in the day. Back in the day.
Did you tell him this?
Yeah. And he said it himself. He's like, I know. He's like, I know you're thinking this, but when I'm hearing his conservative radio host.
Well, yes. So this is exactly what happened. It was same thing happened with me. It was like, oh yeah, I understand you think this, but I don't believe it until somebody other than you thinks it.
Right, exactly. Yeah, Dad, I'm more popular than Ben Shapiro. Okay. Yeah. I said, you just think he's smart because he talks fast. But. I really like ragging on my dad for listening to Ben Shapiro.
Yeah,
it's fun.
So if it hit the gold market cap, it's around almost $200,000.
Well, no, I was doing I think I did half of it, half of the gold market cap, fully diluted. So basically, using the 21 million Bitcoin, which is, and I told him, like, which is technically not even accurate. It's probably more like 16 to 18 million Bitcoin, you know what I mean? Because there's some that are lost and yada, yada, yada. So I said, even taking the 21 mil at half, like 4.5 trillion, I think 4.5 trillion got us to about 215,000 US. So, I mean, it's crazy. It's a crazy thought. And, he calculated what that would make his portfolio worth. And he was like, oh, that's pretty good. So I said, even if it's half the market cap of gold, again, which is, like I said, about 4.5 trillion, you're doing all right. So that's down the road, obviously. But
how far down the road?
It's tough to say. In the 20s. We're living in the 20s now. The roaring 20s. I think it'll happen in the 20s.
Okay, interesting. You heard it here first. Chamber said 100,000, but 150 by next year anyway. So
I said, yeah, I definitely said 150 by the end of next year.
yeah, so I mean that could definitely happen.
Yeah,
We'll see. Though at this rate, it'll happen tomorrow.
no kidding. We don't want that. We want kind of chill out here for a bit. I think. I think the longer.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It's pretty crazy. Like we've seen some pretty, what I would consider significant dips.
Oh, yeah.
From high 19s down to 16.5, immediately bought all the way back up into the 19s. Then again yesterday or last night, this morning, way down to like low 18s, and now being bought back up rather quickly. So it's interesting. Like, you don't know how much vigor these dips are going to keep being bought up with. Like, right now, everybody's in the BTFD mode, right? Like,
right.
Eventually, you're not going to have cash to BTFD, which is what has happened to people in the past, you know? Yeah, like, and then do those trickle out and break support down, or, you know, it's I don't know. I mean, I'm just speculating, obviously.
Yeah, we had. I'm just looking at the chart here. I use a Coinbase chart.
Loser.
I know. I don't know why. There was a reason. I don't know if it had more history or.
It's because you like Brian Armstrong.
Wow, we have the same haircut. But it looks like at 6 a.m. Today, so this morning, we definitely breached 19.9, and then that's at 6 a.m. By 7 a.m., you could have purchased. So it went from 19.9. By 8 a.m., you could have purchased the bottom at 18.1. So that's a huge move in like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Like $2,000 move.
Somebody I saw tweeted, like, you sleep for 8 hours, you hit all-time high, then the sell-off and a V-shaped recovery all in 8 hours.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so 6 a.m., 19.9, 8 a.m., 18.1, 10 a.m., 11 a.m., 19.5. Like, that's crazy.
Wow.
Like that. Yeah. So if you were a trader and you know what you're doing, you could probably, there was definitely people making some money this morning.
For sure.
Not me.
But there's probably equal as many people getting wrecked.
Oh, so many people getting wrecked right now.
You know, so.
Yeah.
But here we are, and it's exciting for sure. So I'm hoping everybody out there is crushing it. This is the moment that we've been waiting for. Hopefully you're euphoric. Chamber is not. He is
not yet. Definitely not yet.
Stubborn and greedy.
I am. I feel I've put in my dues, and to get to get 5% from all-time high back in 2017 is not what I want. I'm looking for X's. I'm looking for multiple X's. So.
You want the X's. We'll do our best to give that to you, Chamber. You deserve X's.
I deserve a few, at least. A few X.
Yeah, you deserve many X's.
Yeah, 2020 is, I tell you, 2020 has been great for crypto, not great for Chamber. And I'm not a blame the year kind of guy.
I hate blame the year people.
Oh, they're the worst.
They never have a good year.
Yeah, fuck off. You probably thought in 2019 was shit too.
They did. Everybody did.
So, yeah, I'm not one of these people. But man, you start writing down the diary of 2020. It's not great for me. So,
I had a pretty good 2020, I gotta say. So this is the worst thing that's happened to me in 2020. Crypto's the worst thing.
Crypto's the worst thing that's happening in 2020. So
yes.
You know what? You win some, you lose some. I don't blame it on the year. It's just, unfortunately, a bad string of luck. But, you know, I got. I told you this morning we got some insurance settled for the robbery today, so that's great.
Everything's coming out Millhouse,
buddy. It's all right. It's okay. You know, we're gonna go do some shopping later this week. Buy some new shit.
Nice.
So yeah, it's gonna be all right. Yeah, now I'm looking for jobs. I'm more active. I'd say the last couple of weeks definitely been more actively on the job hunt.
How's that going?
You know, it is what
nibbles?
it is. Nothing really. Nothing really. It's only, like I said, it's probably been maybe 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
all right. Well, that means
it's more of a 2021 problem, I think. Really.
Yeah, we're starting to get back on the come up for Chamber, I think.
Yeah,
so
I feel it.
Here we go. But shall we?
Yeah, let's do this.
Let's get to the news. All right, buddy, start us out with some news.
So this is December 1st. We've been talking about this for a little while now, but ETH2 Phase 0 launches as Beacon Chain goes live this morning. So the long-awaited launch of Ethereum 2.0's Phase 0 has just happened. The event marks the rollout of the Beacon Chain, a kind of backbone for the Ethereum 2.0 network, or ETH2, with the Genesis block produced at 12 UTC on December 1st. I don't know what time that is for regular people, which regular people is Eastern Standard Time. I feel like that's like 6 a.m. our time, maybe.
Right.
So that just happened. The Beacon Chain has enabled Ethereum staking awards for initial depositors who had locked in more than 500 million worth of ETH in ETH2 staking deposit contracts, so they hit their minimum requirement. Quote, "Today is the day the rubber hits the road," Justin Drake, an ETH2 researcher at the Ethereum Foundation, told The Block. Quote, "It's pretty crazy. We have 4 production-grade ETH2 clients, Lighthouse, Nimbus, Prism, and Teku, from day one." I don't know what any of that means. So for those of you listening, those are apparently important things for Ethereum 2.0. That's Lighthouse, Nimbus, Prism, and Teku. A great deal of work went into Phase 0, including several testnets and audits. There's still a lot of work left to do, but the full ETH2 upgrade, as The Block reported recently. So still some work to be done, but it has hit, like they said, the rubber has hit the road. Of the remaining ETH2 phases, Phase 1.5 is the most crucial phase, as this is the step during which ETH1 will merge with ETH2 and move from proof of work model to the proof of stake system. Overall, the ETH2 upgrade, combined with layer 2 scaling techniques, is intended to solve Ethereum's problem for the long run. Quote, "Once there is sufficient base layer functionality, scalability, and security, ideally the protocol can largely become stable." Danny Ryan, ETH2 researcher at the Ethereum Foundation, told The Block that. So big things happening. Again, still early on in the changeover, but Ethereum slowly moving from proof of work to proof of stake. And hopefully some of these, I've been trying to make some Ethereum transactions this morning, but I don't feel like paying like $11 per transaction,
Dude, I was literally just trying to do one of these MetaMask swaps, and it's like, I have $20 in ETH sitting in MetaMask, and it's telling me I need 0.03 more to make the swap.
Jesus.
And I'm like, Jesus Christ, I don't... I mean, they're forcing me to hodl. I'm trying to sell.
Right.
Like, I don't want to... I just want it all out at this point. So the transaction fees are very high. So when is that supposed to change?
I think it's gonna happen as the phases roll out. I think phase 1.5, 1.5, they're saying is the most crucial one, and that's when it'll go from proof of work to proof of stake, and I think that will hopefully reduce the network fees.
Interesting,
but no time frame on that one. No,
well, I need it to happen like now.
Yeah, ideally by the end of the show.
Yeah, right, exactly. All right, so we touched on this earlier, but here we go. Bitcoin's price just hit a new all-time high on Coinbase. So you were correct. Bitcoin's price has broken its all-time high after reaching $19,900. According to the data from Coinbase Pro, the price of the world's first and largest cryptocurrency by market cap has jumped by over 7% within 24 hours. That price interval surpassed the previous all-time high of $19,891.99, which was last seen almost 3 years ago in December 2017. The new all-time high comes after a period of sustained price growth since September, when Bitcoin's price was trading between 10 and 11,000. Meanwhile, Bitcoin's total market cap is nearing 370 billion, accounting for 61% of all cryptocurrency market caps from CoinGecko. And on November 17th, the market cap exceeded the previous all-time high record of 328 billion for the first time since December 16, 2017. So, Chamber, we're going to play a little game here.
Okay.
Where were you on when Bitcoin hit its previous all-time high in December 2017?
December 2017. When was that? What do we have a day?
Do you remember where you were? Because I do.
Probably. What day? I'll give you a ballpark.
It doesn't give me a day.
December 2017. I remember because like I said, I'd probably purchased my first Bitcoin 4 weeks prior to that. You know what I mean? 3-4 weeks prior to that, I was completely submerged in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. It's you're similar to me. When you find something new, you just drown yourself in it. And that's where I was. I remember buying, I had a work function at the time. It was like a Christmas kind of party for our sales team. Just kind of the regional sales team for Ontario. And there's probably 12 of us there, and we kind of did like a Secret Santa sort of thing. And I got my guy I had to go to a Bitcoin ATM, and I got him like $50 worth of Bitcoin at the time at all time high.
So you not only bought the top yourself, but you bought the top for someone else.
Correct.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and I mean with fees, you have to imagine.
The fees were outrageous for
right.
paper wallets
We probably haven't even recouped that yet.
Dude, it was insane. The paper wallet, to do a Bitcoin transaction was insane at that point.
So I don't know if he still. My guess is he still has it. He was an old dude too. I think he was 60 something at the time. A real weirdo guy. But I got it for him. So I don't know if he ever did anything with it. But I just remember thinking at one point, whenever we got back under 10 or whatever it was, it's just that gift is just slowly being less and less valuable.
What are the odds you think he has it still?
It's 50. This guy's a real wild card. I think he has. I don't know if you notice this out in the real world, but people our age, we get, and younger. Yeah, I'd say we're in our mid 30s. So people in their mid 30s and people younger, we've gotten diagnosed over the years. Whether it's ADD or Asperger's or whatever. I find the older generations, the boomers, they would you would have I gotta watch what I say, but you could have a R-word friend and not even know it back in the 60s. I feel you know what I mean?
Be careful here.
I feel like you could have had a friend with severe mental problems and it wasn't a thing. He was just kind of he was the quirky friend. This particular guy, like I said, he's a little older, but for sure has some sort of I'm not a doctor, but 100% has some sort of Asperger's autism thing happening, and just kind of worked through it throughout the years.
So he's probably taken your Bitcoin and exponentially increased it.
That's what I'm saying. It wouldn't shock me if he figured out everything to do and traded it and is now a multimillionaire, and I don't even know. So, to say whether he has or not it's almost impossible.
Now, where were you yesterday when Bitcoin hit its all-time high?
Where was I? Yes, I was sitting right where I am. Usually sit in my office. I was looking at the charts. I think I was actually talking to my dad. We were talking about Bitcoin yesterday. He was calling me because he keeps, when a couple weeks ago, or maybe last week when it was doing well, he had called me saying, "Oh, hey, I'm up." He bought the fucking top and only bought the top in 2017. Right. I bought the top, but I also bought the bottom. You know what I mean?
Right.
So when he called me, I think it was last week, it was my portfolio is worth more today than it was 3 years ago. And he was very happy about that. So he called me again yesterday. He's like, it's up more. I'm like, yeah, it is up more. So yeah, I think I was talking to my dad yesterday when it was hitting all-time highs.
Yep. All right. So when I was 3 years ago, I remember specifically where I was. I was actually driving to work, trying not to crash my car because I was so excited, and it was also like just going crazy at the time. And I was trying to text my friends in this group that we had, and it was insane. So I very vividly remember exactly where I was and what I was doing. Yesterday, again, same, just sitting in my office doing absolutely nothing, crying that I don't have any Bitcoin.
I was also involved at this time 3 years ago. I was also pretty involved in a Ponzi scheme, I think, at this point, too. I think I was a good focus of my time in December of 2017, unknowingly part of a Ponzi scheme.
You were, oh yeah, of course. You had you had the
the double intro. I had the Bitcoin and the BitConnect intro simultaneously.
Yes.
I mean, I wasn't part of BitConnect, but it was a different. It was a BitConnect adjacent Ponzi scheme, similar to.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So of course that's you. That's how you got introduced to crypto. So, all right. What do you got next for us?
I have. We were talking about this the other day. We were talking about Andre, the dev behind the Wi-Fi protocol, Yearn Finance. So DeFi protocol Yearn Finance announces fifth merger, this time with Uniswap fork SushiSwap. So this came out like midnight last night, and I was looking to try to make a trade on it, but didn't feel like getting out of bed. Decentralized finance protocol Yearn Finance has announced yet another merger, this time with SushiSwap, a fork of decentralized exchange Uniswap. So remember we were talking the other day about Uniswap not paying out those farming the farming benefits that they were getting for so long, and we were trying to figure out where those farms were going to merge to, and we did throw out the idea of SushiSwap, and it sounds like that's what's happening here. So as a part of this deal, Yearn, Wi-Fi, and SushiSwap's development resources will merge, and their total value lock TVL would combine. So Wi-Fi and Sushi would combine their total locked value. The current TVL of Yearn is around 455 million. And SushiSwap's TVL is about 730 million, according to the tracker DeFi Pulse, making it Yearn's biggest merger thus far. The protocol recently announced mergers with other protocols, Pickle Finance.
Oh, the pickle jar.
The pickle. I think they kicked Larry the Cucumber out of this one though. Pickle Finance, Cream Finance, Cover, and Acropolis. Yearn founder Andre Cronje. I don't know. Cronje. We're going to call him Andre. Yearn founder Andre said the protocol's work with SushiSwap was overlapping and thus made sense to merge the two projects. Quote, Sushi focused on expanding their AMM, which means automated market maker, ecosystem, and Yearn focused on expanding their strategies. More and more overlap became apparent. Yearn needed custom AMM experiences for their strategies, and Sushi started pushing the boundaries of yields and money markets, said Andre. With these overlaps, more and more work started to become mutualistic, and at this point, it makes sense to take the relationship to the next level. I love it when a plan comes together. SushiSwap will also help Yearn develop and launch its upcoming project, DaraSwap, which we reported on last week, which would combine different segments of DeFi, swaps, options, and loans into one platform. Quote, Yearn will participate in Sushi governance and add its treasury from Sushi.
Governance, that's just...
What a world we live in, isn't it?
Not something I thought I would hear today.
You will be governed by Sushi. SushiSwap will participate and add its treasury Wi-Fi, said Andre. Last week, Yearn also announced an integration with crypto wallet provider Argent that collaboration means DeFi users can access Yearn's vaults directly from their Argent wallets. So big things happening.
Interesting. All right. We've got lots of big things happening with sushi and Yearn and Wi-Fi and Wi-Fi and whatever else.
All of them. All of those things.
Yep. All right, last news story here. Nearly 100 million in Bitcoin tied to the 2016 Bitfinex hack has been moved. $96.7 million in Bitcoin was stolen from crypto exchange Bitfinex in 2016 hack was moved on Monday to the 14 separate transaction tracked by Twitter-based alert service Whale Alert shows that 5,045.48 Bitcoin in total was transferred. The movements come more than 2 months since the most recent such occurrence when more than 26 million in Bitcoin at then current prices was transferred. Bitfinex was hacked in August 2016 and nearly 120,000 BTC was stolen. Wow, so that's crazy. Think about that. 120,000 BTC. All that was moved in this was 5,000.
Woo!
Wow. That incident led Bitfinex to socialize the losses among its user base and later create a token called dubbed BFX to reimburse those who experienced funds and haircuts. In August, Bitfinex offered a public reward in an effort to spur its recovery efforts. Crazy.
That is pretty crazy. So only, you say 5,000?
5,045 Bitcoin. Out of the 120,000 stole.
That's crazy.
That's wild.
That's so much.
That is insane. All right. That's going to do it for us for the news.
Can I just add one little news article here? It's not crypto. I don't know if you've seen it. But a couple of days ago, they found this like metal monolith in Utah.
Yeah. So I didn't even see it. My dad and my brother were talking about it the other day.
So you're aware of it, though, yeah?
I kind of.
So did you ever see the movie 2001: A Space Odyssey?
No.
Okay. Anyways, in the movie, it's a fucking weird movie. I love it. Stanley Kubrick. But there's a scene in this where it's called The Dawn of Man, and it's like these like monkey men. Kind of like our ancestor, I guess we'll call it our ancestors. And there's this big black monolith that just appears out of nowhere, and they all freak out, and it's this big thing. But that's what this reminded me of. I'm like, it was in the middle of this Utah desert or like cave, mount, I don't know, weird area of Utah, and just showed up, and now apparently it's just fucking disappeared.
Yeah, what happened there?
I don't know. So now, as I'm going through Twitter, I'm just seeing now a mystery monolith now vanishes in Romania. Apparently, there's one in Romania too, and now that one's gone. I don't know what the fuck's
happening,
buddy. You got me. We were talking before the show about how I'm watching Utopia. It's all connected, man. Something fucking weird's happening.
That is nuts. Isn't it kind of insane with Utopia that
my wife was saying, she's like, did they make this before?
Right, exactly. It's very much mirrored to what's going on right now.
I'm pretty sure like it was all filmed before all this shit happened, yeah?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right? So yeah, that's very weird.
Yeah.
So yeah, apparently there's another one in Romania that was there. Now it's also gone. So weird shit's happening. That's it. That's
all right.
That's all I want.
That is going to do it for the news for us. We have a couple more segments here. One of which is defend that tweet.
The defense is not back, Mom.
Hey, let's get our energy going at the defensive end. Keep playing defense.
All right, Chamber. I got a big one for you here. Oh, no. I don't know if I should start with that one or go with the other one.
I have no idea what I've tweeted.
Okay, I'm gonna start smaller here.
Okay.
We've already talked about this one, so this will be just a quick hitter. At 7:59, I believe this was yesterday, you tweeted, it got 9 likes. I'm not euphoric yet. #Bitcoin.
Yeah. I was feeling that, people are getting excited. I didn't see the move I wanted to see with Bitcoin. Like I said, it kind of just got slow down right at resistance, which makes total sense. But yeah, I remember the feeling in 2017. Again, I was very new, but like you said, you're driving down the road, you're checking, you're getting into accidents, trying to check your phone all the time. It's not that right now for me. I don't know what number that's going to be. It's probably going to be like 30,000 plus for me.
30,000?
I think so.
All right.
Before I start to get really like, okay, let's fucking go. It's fucking go time.
All right.
But yeah, that's kind of the way I feel.
All right, next one here. Microwave theory. 3 minutes plus 2 minutes equals 4 minutes.
Yes.
516, 1129, 7 likes.
So when my wife reheats something, she'll do it for like 2 or 3 minute increments.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, I asked her what she I forget what we were reheating some like pad thai or something. And I said, how long did you put it in for? So I put it in for 2 and then 3 minutes. So I'm like, so 4 minutes. So I put it in for 4 straight minutes, and it was the same. So 2 minutes plus 3 minutes in a microwave, which technically should add up to 5 minutes. It only adds up to really 4 minutes. I feel as soon as you stop the microwave, you've lost all momentum. I feel a microwave creates momentum like a snowball when it's inside, and as soon as you stop it, all momentum's gone. That's just a theory, though.
Okay,
it's a microwave theory.
Okay, I see. One more here, and then the big one.
Okay.
11:22 at 11:23 a.m. 4 likes. You did not get the response you were looking for here, and I don't know.
4 likes is okay. I don't mind 4 likes.
I mean, I don't know how many comments you got. Probably less, but. Men and women can't be first-generation friends without one side being sexually attracted. Change my mind. Were you looking for tit pics here?
I'm always looking for tit pics, for the record. But no, I don't know why I tweeted that.
That's my favorite, is when I get you ones that you're like, huh.
What did I don't know what time was it?
11:23 a.m.
A.m. I was going to say,
Yes.
maybe I was watching The Office, but I definitely wasn't watching The Office then. Anyways, but I stand by it. I don't have any girlfriends. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. I don't have any first-generation girlfriends. Is that what I said, first generation? Because that's a great term.
And I was the only one that responded, and I said,
what the fuck is
what
that?
is first generation?
So
and you
first
responded
generation...
with direct friendship link. Second generation would be a girlfriend, wife, or family, or friend of family.
Correct. So, for example... if I was friends with your wife, that's a second generation friend, which is completely normal and completely healthy. And I have friends that are women that are my wife's friends, or, spouses of my guy friends. Totally fine. That's a normal relationship. I don't think 2 individual people that are, male and female, can have a platonic relationship without one side fucking it up. Usually the guy, but sometimes the woman.
Really agree, I don't think, but
it's okay. Right. That's okay. I mean, they're not a lot of people agree with me, but I strongly believe that. I think that at some point somebody's gonna fuck up that friendship. It's probably gonna be me.
I think you're I would say probably more right than wrong. I think I followed up with that. I said I 60-40 agree with you there.
That is as good as I can ask.
All right. Now,
that wasn't the big one?
No, this is the Whopper.
Ooh, I thought that one was the Whopper. Okay, what do you got?
This is the Whopper. And this created, I don't even know.
Fuck, what did I say?
This created waves more than you even know.
Wow.
And you got a lot of backlash for this. You tweeted on 11/26 at 2:59 p.m. Okay. You tweeted a news story, and your comment was, "Good. Fuck your individual freedoms if they make people around you sick. We live in a society. You want freedom? Buy an island. Now, it wasn't your tweet that really went off here. It was our friend of the show, I would say, DJ Thistle, decided he was going to stroke the flames here and stoke the fire. And he just tweeted out, he just quote tweeted your tweet and just said, thoughts.
Yes, I saw that.
And the responses in this tweet
I didn't read all of them.
Were not favorable to you.
So
let's first go with the tweet.
Okay.
So explain yourself. And by the way, the news story, just so there's context here, an owner of a restaurant, Adamson Barbecue, was arrested for defying Ontario's public health COVID protocols.
Right. Okay. That's okay. So big news in my area here has been this guy that has been opening his restaurant to the interior of his restaurant to the public.
Right.
Saying like basically fuck you to the COVID restrictions. This is in the Greater Toronto area, which is as a higher, like it's a kind of in a red zone. Where I live, I'm in a more of a yellow zone, so we don't have as many restrictions here. But where this guy is in the red zone, so he can still have. I think he can still have like people at the restaurant, but have to eat outside. Obviously, it's a blizzard today, so it's probably not great. But he can also deliver, right? Mm-hmm. But he one day, I think it was one day last week, say Tuesday, opens up his restaurant to the public. Gets a warning, I want to say, from the OPP, which is the Ontario Provincial Police, and then the next day, basically, there's kind of like a groundswell of support for him from the conservative, people of Canada, or at least of this part of Canada.
Right.
So using that momentum, he opened up again the next day and subsequently got arrested and blah 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 blah. So this is the same feeling I have for anybody worldwide that's kind of doing this. I see it obviously a lot in the US. The US has a very big like individual freedom kind of theme to a lot of the people that live there. People are very big on individual freedoms and so on and so forth. So anytime the government asks them to, relinquish some of those individual freedoms, like opening up your store, like, going into big groups, you get a lot of backlash. And you're seeing it happen across the US, you're seeing it happen across Canada. I am on the side of, I don't think the government's trying to control us by keeping us, you know what I mean? Like lockdown. And they're not, like, a lot of people see this as like the prequel to like the government's big coup against us for the New World Order or whatever it is that these, conspiracy theorists believe. But I wholeheartedly believe that as a group, whether that's, Canada or the US or whatever, you should do what you can to, for the betterment of the group, right? For the betterment of the country. If you have to wait a couple of weeks, you have to shut down your store, or at least the inside of your store for a couple of weeks, or if you have to skip Christmas this year. A lot of people, like my mom, I'm not going to my mom's place for Christmas this year. We're not doing that because some of the restrictions that happen, because of the people we want to see too, like, my wife's parents are a little bit older, so we want to make sure we can still see them. So we don't want to, be traveling around all different parties and seeing a bunch of different people, because we want to make sure the people we need to protect are protected. So I'm a big believer in, hey, let's just shut up. Let's get through this part. It's going to be shitty. And the more times we have pushback, the more times we have people like this guy with the restaurant pushing back and spreading more disease, it just prolongs the end. Right? Had we all just fucking did what we were supposed to do early on, we'd probably be on the other side of this by now. So I'm for individual freedoms, but I'm also for like the betterment of the group. So when I say fuck that guy's individual freedom, I'm jokingly saying it, but I kind of believe it at the same time. Where Thistle comes in, and he's kind of like he's another Canadian. Most Canadians are pretty liberal, but we do have a pretty big grouping of conservatives. He is definitely a conservative Canadian, and saw that. And I think he's a big, again, being conservative, a lot of individual freedoms come into play there as well. So I don't think he took that one too kindly, and that's why he threw that one out there. But
yes, and then you got I would call it a lambasting.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it's a lot of you're seeing it right now in the U.S. where people don't like to be told what to do, and I'm assuming it triggered a lot of people when I said what I said. So it was a joke. It was a triggering joke, but based in some genuine belief from my part, I would say.
Sure. Here are a couple of the.
What do we got?
A couple of the replies. Let me see. I only have 4 here. One was one here. Can't fix stupid.
It's true. That's a fact. You can't fix stupid.
The next one, C-Load 420 called you. Responded, bootlicker.
I don't know what that means. Is that somebody just licks boots? I'm not 100% sure what that means.
I don't know. You should look that up really quickly.
It probably means like somebody that like obeys the government or something.
Right.
Or the king or whatever.
Yeah, you're a bootlicker, I guess.
Yeah, right? Okay.
Yeah. I think that would be...
That sounds right, eh?
You should Google it, see what it comes up with. What's a bootlicker? I'm very curious at this point to see what a bootlicker is.
It seems like a very Canadian thing to say to somebody. Like, oh, you're a fucking bootlicker.
A bootlicker, eh?
Someone who seeks favor or goodwill in a servile, degraded way. Toady, he comes across as a bootlicker, someone who would do anything like a lapdog to please somebody in the chain of command. So, yeah, kind of.
So pretty much spot on.
Yeah, pretty close. Can't fix stupid. At least I knew what a bootlicker was.
Yeah. Let's see. Peter McCormick said we could put this in the unsolvable problems bucket. Some people are collectivists and feel that the public health comes first. Some are individualists and believe that liberty comes first. These seem to appear to be incompatible ideas. I
think that's a pretty astute summarization of what the issue is. I think I fall into the one category.
Cosmic Ape 1 said if buying an island was an option, I would take it.
Yeah. That's the freest thing you could do, man. Just buy an island.
Sure.
You want to have all your liberties, no problem. But you live in a country. We live in a society of rules, people.
BTC Pablo says none of CT's opinions matter. Everyone is just farting in the wind.
Hey.
Why get worked up about something you can't change?
That's a fair point. That's a good point, actually.
Yep. Let's see. So Philb called you a played fool.
Ah, yes.
Yep. Here was my no. There's no exceptions in the U.S. Constitution for pandemics. The writers surely were familiar with pandemics in colonial days. That was said by Roulette Run. My favorite one of all the responses was here. This is by @nicebit_net. Not a coincidence. This cuck has cryptocurrency in bio.
It's fair. That is fair. Again, I stand by most of my tweets. Probably all of my tweets. I stand by this one.
I mean, it's a tweet. That is for sure.
It's a tweet, and I said it, and I was jokingly serious.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for that segment of Defend That Tweet. We have one more segment here that we're going to do here today. What are we calling it, Chamber?
I like I See YouTube.
I See You Tube. I See You Tube. Is what we're calling this segment. Yes, exactly. That's what we're calling this segment. So, this weekend, I was sitting on my couch and I was going to look up golf videos on YouTube, and I was gonna, I had just played golf. I was trying to see what I could, how I could fix my swing, and I usually would just like go to youtube.com, but I've decided this time I was going to use the YouTube app.
Okay.
And
on your desktop or on
no, on my phone. Just use the YouTube app, and I think I originally created the REKT podcast YouTube, and so it was still logged in as REKT podcast. And so, I didn't really think anything of it. And then I went to go type what I was looking for, and I realized that you had absolutely been using the REKT podcast. You use the REKT podcast YouTube, and so I got to go see all of your search history in our YouTube channel.
Okay, we're gonna be on the record here,
and this was just fantastic content.
This was the worst thing that's happened to me in 2020. I was mortified when I saw that tweet that you sent out.
Are you serious?
Mortified. But it just felt, what's the tweet, what's the gif that I put out from, I think you should leave. Like, this is a
betrayal unlike anything anyone's ever seen.
That's 100% how I felt. I just felt, it's like somebody reading your diary. I'm on YouTube all the time. And it felt like somebody read my diary out loud.
And that is exactly what I did. So I took to Twitter and said, when you log into YouTube accidentally on your podcast account and get a peek of what Chamber has been up to, then I said, give it up. The movie never existed, because your top search was Shazam Sinbad. Your top one, meaning the most recent one.
I had just looked at, so I want to say the amount of time between the time that I looked that up and the time you tweeted out was less than half an hour. Like, I was just doing that. I was on our Facebook. The reason I was on I had looked up Shazam. I was on our Facebook page, like the REKT Podcast Facebook page, and then I had a notice, because I'd mentioned in the past I had started a Shazam movie page, or a Shazam conspiracy page, like fucking 4 years ago. And it still has way more followers than our REKT podcast page, by the way. Like, not even close. Like, it has
I don't even remember you having said you did this.
Oh, no? Okay, yeah. So, I did a year. Like, I haven't updated it in forever.
I'm assuming this is why you were listening to old shows, or you came back across this because you were listening to old shows. Yes. Okay.
So I said, well, because Facebook was telling me, like, oh, you haven't updated in like 3.5 years or something. And I'm like, I should look at something. So I went on YouTube and I looked up if there was any new kind of funny videos or something. So that's why that was there. But yes, I'm always looking for, and it's still, like, as much as we joke about it, it's still one of those things that, like, still fucks with my head the most. As much as we joke about it, the Shazam movie thing is very strange to me.
So that was your top search. I mean, we've talked about that on this podcast a million times, and I thought we've left it at you were acquiescing that this, doesn't actually exist, and clearly you were.
No, I don't. I do not acquiesce.
All right, so let's go through some of the rest of you.
Yeah, it's fucking embarrassing. This is so fucking embarrassing.
Things that I highlighted that I thought were hilarious is Bigfoot evidence.
Right. Okay.
I mean, none of this I felt was like so intrusive that wouldn't be off the board. Like,
it 100% wasn't,
because this is all things that we've talked about many times on the show.
Right.
Bigfoot evidence. I thought this one was funny that you were looking for Phil Collins in the air tonight.
So I did that one on our last show. I couldn't find
right, because we had a drop. Yes.
Yeah. So I just recorded the audio from YouTube and then put that in the drop.
Bigfoot trail cam.
Yup.
A lot of Lakers highlights.
A lot of it's trade season and free agent season.
Yeah, so Kobe Bryant tribute video.
Yeah, I got sad. I got sad the other day and I had to watch a Kobe Bryant. I was really having a moment, Bunch.
Yep, I got it. The next list here. I don't know who Bobby Kimball is. Who's Bobby Kimball?
Bobby Kimball was the lead singer for the band Toto.
Okay.
And my wife and I were talking about old lead singers that don't have it anymore. Like Meatloaf. I forget who we were listening to. I'm like, the guy from Toto must not sound like the same anymore, because he had a very difficult voice to do back in the 80s, and he's got to be like fucking 60 or 70 now. I'm like, he can't. So I was looking for current videos of Bobby Kimball singing to prove my point.
I see.
I think I was accurate.
A lot of science versus spirituality here.
Really?
We've got dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs was
size of planets.
Yeah.
And then on the opposite side, you've got a lot of ghost stuff. Ghost of Carmel, Maine.
Ooh.
Ghost of Carmel, Maine nuke. Things like that. So you know, a lot of science versus the supernatural.
So the science stuff was for my kids. So my youngest daughter likes dinosaurs. So we were watching videos of like what dinosaurs would look like, you know, in real life kind of thing. And then my oldest daughter was asking, you know, was basically saying, oh, is there something bigger than the moon? And is there something bigger than the sun? And I showed her a clip. I highly recommend watching this if you haven't seen this. But basically they show you kind of like the smallest planet in our solar system, and it progressively gets bigger and bigger. Then it shows the sun versus all those, and it just goes to the next, whatever the next biggest thing is. And so you see as a comparison how much bigger the next thing is. So like the moon versus the earth versus, you know, Jupiter versus the sun, and it just keeps moving. And then you get to like a bigger sun, and then like it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and you realize how, you know, teeny tiny we actually are. And I was showing this to my 7-year-old, and I think her fucking mind exploded.
Last two on the second page here, strongblock.io, which fuck those guys.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know what I was looking for there.
Fuck, no, you were probably, fuck them. I hate them. And then install water line to refrigerator, which we talked about, which is pretty great. That's
I YouTube a lot of things.
they also saddle valve, refrigerator, water line. Yeah. And, you know, the clay pigeons. Drilling through the tile floor, drilling through tile.
Yes.
Garth Brooks live, more ghosts caught on camera.
So
the other ones I highlighted here, how to grow your podcast, which you know, I appreciate that one. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Always looking to better ourselves.
And then the other one that I just didn't really know what you could have been going for.
Right.
It's just because it's just kind of vague. Apple topping?
Oh, apple topping. So when I make pancakes, sometimes I like to make...
right, but it's not like apple topping recipe. It's just apple topping.
Because I don't want to get apple sauce, and I don't want to get apple filling. There's an apple topping, something to put on top of my pancakes. And I don't want it to be like a jam. So you have to kind of put in a more specific recipe. I was making it the other day.
Well, that's a peek
topping.
inside Chambers YouTube. So unfortunately, I think that this probably will be the last time we ever do this segment, because I think that.
Oh, do you think I'm not? I
don't know. You said you felt very betrayed by this. So.
I am so lazy. I will not change anything. I think the first day I was just like, fuck, I can't search that. I'm like, well, fuck it, I'm not changing. Because everything's
so
the way I like it.
The best part is gonna be when I just randomly spur these segments out. Yes. You're not gonna know, and you're gonna be like, "Oh no!"
I was mortified when I saw that.
That's hilarious.
But I said, "How is this the most embarrassing thing that I've talked about?" And it really isn't. I don't know why I felt so embarrassed. But it's it was funny. I was glad you found it, and I love great content, and I thought that was pretty good content.
I would say maybe the best content.
Possibly.
I mean, that's pretty high quality.
But I do like
content.
watching ghost videos, even though I don't really believe in ghosts. It's basically just me saying that's bullshit, that's bullshit, that's bullshit.
derivative.
Yeah. And then Bigfoot videos, I periodically like to look see if there's any new Bigfoot videos that I haven't seen yet. But that's it. That's basically like ghost videos, Bigfoot videos, how to grow your podcast, and then how to make toppings for my pancakes.
He's a simple man, folks.
I'm a simple man.
He's a simple man. So that is going to do it for us today. Do you have anything to say before we get out of Dodge here?
No, I've just a little mortified still, but
I mean, a lot of great content here today. We did a lot of crypto.
Yeah.
We did a lot of crypto, and we got to peek inside your YouTube.
Yes. Yep.
Which was just fantastic.
Riveting.
All right. That's going to do it for us. Check us out. We may have another show this week. We may not. It's
tough to say.
It's tough to say. We may have a guest. We had a guest scheduled, and we had to call an audible last minute. So that may happen this week. It may not. But until next time, don't get wrecked. And that is financial advice.
Hey everybody, thanks for listening. You can help support us by giving us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and become a REKT patron by signing up for a monthly tier on patreon.com. That's patreon.com/REKT podcast. Don't get wrecked.